Alright guys, today we're going to look at solving linear equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. So when an equation has variables on both sides of the equal sign, you're going to want to move them both to one side and then combine like terms. Our directions are to solve each equation for the indicated variable and to show all work. Remember that these steps from 1.1a still apply. Okay, so this is important. All of these steps still apply. So let's go ahead and look at our examples here. Example 1, I have 5 minus 6r equals 7 minus 7r. So what I'm going to do is choose one of the r's to move. Usually when I move variables, I want to move them so that whatever I end up with is a positive number. So in this case, for problem number 1, I'm going to actually move the negative 7r, because when I move it, I'm going to be adding it. So I'll have negative 6r plus 7r, and that will give me 1r. So I'll have 5 and a positive 1r equals 7. Then to solve for r, all I would do is subtract 5 from both sides, and I end up with r equals 2. In example 2, again, I have x's on both sides, and I want to choose one to move. I'm going to go for the one that will give me a positive number. So if I look at my letters, I have 2 x's. I have 1x and 3x, so I'm going to move the smaller one over because I have to subtract. So I'm going to subtract the smaller from the larger. That'll leave me with a positive number. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. These cancel. I have negative 5 equals positive 5, and then 3x minus x is going to give me positive 2x. From here, I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to do that by subtracting 5 from both sides. These 5s will cancel. And on the left side, I have negative 10 equals 2x. To get x by itself, I do need to divide both sides by 2. And x is going to equal negative 5. In example 3, I have a little bit of distribution. I have some parentheses I'm going to get rid of that way. So first thing I'm going to do is distribute the 5 to both of those pieces. So I have negative 15 minus 40v equals 20 minus 5v. Okay. Now I have v's on both sides. I need to choose one to move. I'm actually going to move the negative 40 because to move it, I have to add. So I'm going to add 40 to both sides. This will give me a positive number. So the 40s cancel. I have negative 15 equals 20. And then negative 5 plus 40 is going to be a positive 35v. So now I need to work on getting v by itself. I'm going to move the 20 and then the 35. To move 20 over, I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. The 20s are going to cancel. And on the left side, I will have negative 35 equals positive 35v. To get v by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 35. Negative 35 divided by positive 35 is going to be negative 1, and that's going to equal v. In example 4, again, I have parentheses. I will need to get rid of those, so I'm going to distribute the 8 to do that. So 8 times negative 3v, 8 times negative 4. So I'll have 19 minus 7v equals negative 24v minus 32. Then I need to move the v's over. I'm going to move negative 24 because, again, I'll have to add it. So this is going to give me a positive number over here on the left. The 24 v's will cancel. I have 19 plus 17v equals negative 32. Now to get v by itself, I'm going to move 19 and then 17. To move 19, I need to subtract it from both sides. These will cancel. So I will have 17v equals negative 32 minus 19. So I know for sure my number is going to be negative. Okay. And then 32 and 19 make 51. So negative 51. If you're not sure with negatives, guys, it's best to use a calculator just to be safe. From here, I'm going to get v by itself by dividing both sides by 17. And I'm left with v equals negative 51 divided by 17. It's going to be negative 3. Make sure you keep track of those negatives, guys. All right, we have one more example. It is 4 minus 6p equals negative p minus 11 divided by 6. So in this case, I don't have parentheses to get rid of, but what I do have is a fraction. I want to get rid of that fraction because I can't move negative p or negative 11 until I do. So to get rid of the fraction, notice that negative p and negative 11 are both being divided by 6. So I can't move those. So what I need to do is get rid of the denominator, get rid of the 6. To get rid of that denominator, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 6. This will cancel these out. When I multiply this side, I want to put everything in parentheses so that I'm getting both pieces. I'm going to multiply by 6. So I'm just going to write it out as is. 6 times 4 minus 6p equals negative p minus 11. Now what I'm going to do is distribute the 6. And I have 24 minus 36p equals negative p minus 11. Now I need to move the p's. I'm going to move 36p because I'm going to have to add it since it's negative. So plus 36p both sides. These will cancel each other out, and on the right side I'll be left with positive 24. On the right side I'll have negative p plus 36p. That's going to be positive 35p minus 11. Now to get p by itself, I need to move the negative 11 and the 35. To move negative 11, I'm going to add it to both sides. And I'll have 35 equals 35p. If I divide both sides by 35, I'm left with p equals 1. And that is how you solve linear equations with variables on both sides.